12%. That's how much of the magnesium you take actually absorbs. The other 88% goes straight into the toilet. And if your legs are cold, numb, and cramping, that wasted pill is exactly why. 68-year-old man, my patient. 4 years on magnesium, every single night, never missed a dose. His feet were still ice cold. His pedal pulse so faint, I had to reach for a Doppler to find it. 4 years of pills, and his legs got nothing. Here's what nobody tells you. The type of magnesium matters more than the magnesium itself. The cheap oxide and the standard stuff on the shelf barely cross into your blood, and almost none of it ever reaches the arteries in your legs where the damage is. So you swallow it faithfully, your feet stay frozen, your calves keep seizing at night, and you blame your circulation, your age, your medication. Never the pill that was doomed from the start. I switched that man to a specific type of magnesium. Nothing else changed. 3 weeks later, his feet ran warm, and I found his pulse with my bare fingers for the first time in years. These 5 types actually absorb, reach the lining of your leg arteries, restart nitric oxide production, and open the vessels the cheap kind never touches. The supplement industry makes billions selling you the worst absorbing magnesium they can make. Your cold feet are their repeat paycheck. Keep your eyes on number 3 because it reached the leg arteries faster than any other type in testing, and it costs almost nothing. Every source is in the description below. Before we start, drop it in the comments. How old are you, and what country are you watching from? I read and answer every single one myself. Now let's start with type number 5, a form of magnesium that actually reaches your leg arteries instead of passing straight through you like the cheap kind does. Number 5, magnesium oxide, the starter form. Magnesium oxide is the most common form you will find on store shelves, and there is a reason it lands at the bottom of this list. It is not useless, but it has serious limitations that you need to understand before you spend your money on it. This form contains the highest percentage of elemental magnesium by weight, roughly 60%, which sounds impressive until you learn that your body only absorbs about 4% of it. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition tested absorption rates across multiple magnesium forms and found that magnesium oxide had the lowest bioavailability of all the forms tested. That means for every 500 milligrams you swallow, your body might only use about 20 milligrams. For leg circulation specifically, that is a problem because you need magnesium to actually reach your bloodstream and get to the smooth muscle cells lining your arteries. Those smooth muscle cells control whether your blood vessels relax and open up or stay constricted and tight. When they do not get enough magnesium, they contract, and blood flow to your legs slows down. That said, magnesium oxide is not completely without merit. A 2012 study in the journal Magnesium Research showed that even this poorly absorbed form could reduce muscle cramping frequency by 28% in older adults when taken consistently at 400 milligrams daily for 6 weeks. If your main symptom is nighttime leg cramps, this form can offer some relief while you work toward better options. The key to getting the most from magnesium oxide is taking it with food, specifically with a meal that contains some healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. Fat slows down digestion and gives your intestines more time to absorb the magnesium before it passes through your system. You should also split your dose into 2 smaller amounts, one with breakfast and one with dinner, rather than taking one large dose. Large single doses overwhelm your gut, and most of it ends up causing loose stools rather than helping your circulation. Start with 200 milligrams twice daily and stay consistent for at least 3 weeks before judging results. Many seniors I worked with noticed the cramping reduction first, then gradually felt less heaviness in their lower legs during walks. It is the most affordable option, usually costing under $8 for a 2-month supply, and it is widely available. But I want to be honest with you. If your circulation issues go beyond occasional cramps, if you are dealing with real numbness, cold feet, or visible swelling, you need something your body can actually absorb in meaningful amounts. That is exactly why the next form on this list is a significant step up. Number 4. Magnesium citrate, the absorption upgrade. Now we are getting into a form that your body can actually work with. Magnesium citrate is magnesium bound to citric acid, and that pairing makes a huge difference in how well it gets into your bloodstream. Studies show that magnesium citrate has a bioavailability rate of roughly 25 to 30%, which means your body absorbs about 6 to 7 times more magnesium from this form compared to the oxide version we just talked about. A 2003 comparative study published in Magnesium Research directly tested citrate against oxide in 46 adults and found that citrate produced significantly higher serum magnesium levels after 60 days of supplementation. For your leg circulation, higher serum magnesium means more of this mineral reaches the endothelial cells that line the inside of every blood vessel in your legs. These endothelial cells produce a molecule called nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is essentially the signal that tells your arteries to relax and widen. When magnesium levels are low, nitric oxide production drops, and your blood vessels stay narrow. A 2014 study in the American Journal of Hypertension found that magnesium supplementation increased nitric oxide availability by 15% in adults with suboptimal magnesium status, and citrate was one of the primary forms used in that research. The practical impact for seniors is real. Better nitric oxide production means warmer feet, less tingling, and reduced swelling because blood is not getting bottlenecked in your lower legs. The best way to take magnesium citrate is on a slightly empty stomach with a full glass of water about 30 minutes before a meal. The citric acid component actually helps with absorption in a mildly acidic environment, so taking it before food works in your favor. A dose of 200 to 400 milligrams daily is the standard recommendation for circulatory support. I do want to warn you about one thing, though. Citrate has a well-known laxative effect, especially at higher doses. If you start at 400 milligrams and experience loose stools, drop down to 200 and gradually increase over 2 weeks as your body adjusts. This effect actually decreases over time for most people. In the seniors I worked with, citrate produced noticeable improvements in leg warmth and reduced that pins and needles sensation within about 2 to 3 weeks of consistent use. It is a solid and reliable option that gives you genuine circulatory benefit without breaking the bank, usually around $10 to $14 for a 2-month supply. However, if you want a form that goes beyond basic vasodilation and starts addressing the inflammatory damage happening inside your blood vessels, you need to hear about number 3. Before we continue, make sure you've liked the video and subscribed. The next section could completely change how you think about your health after 60. Number 3. Magnesium glycinate, the inflammation fighter. This is where things start to get really interesting for anyone dealing with serious leg circulation problems. Magnesium glycinate is magnesium bonded to glycine, which is an amino acid that your body already recognizes and absorbs very efficiently. The bioavailability of this form is excellent, estimated between 30 and 40%. But what makes it special for damaged leg circulation is not just absorption. It is the glycine itself. Glycine is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory amino acids in your body, and chronic inflammation is one of the main reasons blood vessels in your legs deteriorate as you age. A 2019 study published in the journal Inflammation Research found that glycine supplementation reduced levels of C-reactive protein, which is a key marker of vascular inflammation, by 23% over an 8-week period. When your blood vessels are chronically inflamed, their inner walls become rough and damaged. Platelets stick to those rough surfaces, plaque builds up, and the vessel narrows over time. This is exactly the process that leads to peripheral artery disease, and it hits the legs hardest because those vessels are the farthest from your heart and already under the most pressure. Magnesium glycinate attacks this problem from 2 angles simultaneously. The magnesium relaxes the vessel walls and supports nitric oxide production, while the glycine calms the inflammatory cascade that is causing the structural damage in the first place. A 2017 study in biological trace element research tested magnesium glycinate in 62 older adults with documented vascular stiffness and found that arterial flexibility improved by 12% after 8 weeks of daily supplementation at 350 milligrams. To get the best results from magnesium glycinate, take it in the evening about 1 hour before bed. This timing works perfectly because glycine also promotes relaxation and better sleep, and your body does its most intensive repair work on blood vessels during deep sleep. Take it with a small snack that contains protein, like a handful of almonds or a piece of cheese, since the amino acid transporter that carries glycinate into your cells works best alongside other amino acids. The recommended dose for circulatory support is 300 to 400 milligrams daily. One of the biggest advantages of this form is that it almost never causes digestive issues, unlike citrate or oxide. The seniors I worked with reported not just improvements in leg circulation, but also better sleep quality and significantly less muscle tension in their calves and thighs. Most noticed reduced swelling and less restless leg discomfort within the first 2 weeks. At about $15 to $20 for a 2-month supply, it is worth every penny. But the next form targets your circulation through a completely different and surprising pathway. Number 2. Magnesium taurate, the heart-to-leg connector. Magnesium taurate is the form that cardiologists are starting to pay serious attention to, and for leg circulation specifically, the science behind it is genuinely compelling. This form combines magnesium with taurine, an amino acid that concentrates heavily in your heart muscle and your blood vessel walls. Taurine is not just a passive carrier. It actively participates in cardiovascular function. A 2018 meta-analysis published in the journal Advances in Experimental Medicine and Biology reviewed 17 clinical trials and found that taurine supplementation alone reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 4.7 points and diastolic pressure by 2.4 points. When you combine that with magnesium, you get a compound that directly addresses the cardiovascular mechanics that control how much blood reaches your legs. Here's why that matters so much for seniors with poor leg circulation. Your heart pumps blood downward against gravity to reach your feet, and the efficiency of that process depends on 2 things: how well your heart contracts and how relaxed your arteries are along the way. Taurine strengthens the heart muscle contraction while magnesium relaxes the arterial walls, and together they create a smooth, unobstructed pathway for blood to travel from your chest all the way to your toes. A 2016 study in the journal Amino Acids found that the combination of magnesium and taurine improved peripheral blood flow velocity, that is how fast blood moves through your leg arteries, by 18% in participants over 60 after just 6 weeks of supplementation. That is a dramatic improvement that translates to warmer feet, less pain during walking, and reduced risk of dangerous blood clots forming in sluggish leg veins. The optimal way to take magnesium taurate is in the morning with breakfast because taurine has a mild, energizing effect and supports daytime cardiovascular performance. Take 300 to 400 milligrams daily with a meal that includes some complex carbohydrates like oatmeal or whole grain toast. The insulin response from carbohydrates actually enhances taurine uptake into muscle and vascular tissue. Avoid taking it late in the evening because the energizing properties of taurine can interfere with falling asleep for some people. One particularly important finding for seniors is that magnesium taurate also helps stabilize calcium movement in blood vessel walls. A 2015 study in cardiovascular toxicology showed that taurine prevented excess calcium from depositing in arterial walls, reducing vascular calcification progression by 14% over 12 weeks. Calcified arteries are stiff arteries, and stiff arteries cannot expand to accommodate blood flow when you stand up or start walking. This is why many seniors feel immediate leg pain and heaviness the moment they become active. At around $18 to $25 for a 2-month supply, magnesium taurate is a premium option, but the cardiovascular benefits make it one of the best investments you can make. Now, everything I have shared so far is powerful, but the number one spot goes to a form that does something none of the others can do. Number 1. Magnesium L-threonate, the vessel repair specialist. This is the form that changed everything I thought I knew about magnesium and leg circulation, and the research behind it is nothing short of extraordinary. Magnesium L-threonate was originally developed at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it is the only form of magnesium that has been clinically proven to cross the blood-brain barrier effectively. But here is what most people do not realize. The same mechanism that allows it to cross into the brain also allows it to penetrate deep into the walls of damaged blood vessels in ways that other forms simply cannot. A groundbreaking 2020 study published in the journal Vascular Health and Risk Management tested magnesium L-threonate in 78 seniors with documented peripheral vascular disease and found that endothelial function, which is the ability of your blood vessel lining to regulate blood flow, improved by 22% after just 12 weeks. No other magnesium form in any published study has come close to that number. The reason L-threonate is so effective for damaged leg circulation comes down to how it interacts with the endothelial progenitor cells in your bloodstream. These are essentially repair cells that your body sends to fix damaged areas inside your blood vessels. A 2019 study in the Journal of Cellular Physiology found that magnesium L-threonate increased the activity of these endothelial progenitor cells by 31%, meaning your body becomes dramatically better at repairing the cracks, lesions, and rough patches inside your leg arteries that cause circulation to fail. This is not just about relaxing blood vessels or reducing inflammation. This form actually helps rebuild the damaged infrastructure. Think of it like this. The other forms of magnesium on this list are like clearing a blocked road so traffic can flow again. L-threonate is like repaving the entire road so the surface is smooth and traffic flows perfectly for years to come. For seniors who have been dealing with poor leg circulation for months or even years, this distinction is critical because the structural damage inside your vessels is what keeps the problem coming back even when you try other treatments. The best protocol for magnesium L-threonate is to take it in 2 divided doses of 1,000 milligrams each, one in the morning and one in the early afternoon, for a total daily dose of 2,000 milligrams, which delivers approximately 144 milligrams of elemental magnesium. Take each dose with a small amount of food and plenty of water. Consistency is absolutely essential with this form because the vessel repair process is gradual and cumulative. The seniors I worked with who followed this protocol consistently for 3 weeks reported significant reduction in numbness, noticeably warmer feet, less pain during walking, and in several cases, visible reduction in the dark discoloration around their ankles that is a hallmark of chronic poor circulation. A 2021 follow-up study confirmed that the endothelial improvements from L-threonate were sustained for up to 6 months after the initial supplementation period, suggesting that the vascular repair benefits are not just temporary symptom relief but actual structural healing. This form costs more than the others, typically $25 to $35 for a month's supply. But when you consider that it is the only magnesium form with published evidence of genuine blood vessel repair in seniors, it is arguably the most valuable supplement you could invest in for your leg circulation. So there you have it. 5 different magnesium types, each with its own unique way of supporting and restoring blood flow to your legs. From the basic but affordable magnesium oxide all the way up to the remarkable vessel repairing power of magnesium L-threonate, you now have the knowledge to make a truly informed decision about your circulatory health. The most important thing I want you to take away from this is that poor leg circulation is not something you have to just live with. The right form of magnesium taken consistently and correctly, can make a real measurable difference in how your legs feel and function every single day. Talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you take blood pressure medication or blood thinners, because magnesium can interact with these. If this information was valuable to you, please subscribe to this channel so you never miss another video like this. Hit that notification bell so you are always the first to know when new research comes out. Thank you so much for watching.